everything's going to be on a drip.
Holy crap, it works.
Everything's going to be on a drip, huh?
If you like
Okay,
to,
that's an out of the context quote.
if you like to keep everything nailed down here at the Blanket Fort, donate here. We need straps and bolts and nails, apparently, for what's coming.
Yeah.
King Harv's Imperial Coffees, kingharvs.com. If you like coffee, talk to these guys. Be sure you let them know you heard about it from us. Smartass T-shirts, tinyurl.com, among the leaves tees. Friend of ours. Again, let them know you heard about it from us.
Oh, sorry about that, Raptor. It always sucks to lose a pet, regardless.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Brown bread was interesting, Richard.
Oh, it's it's staring at me.
I do have to apologize to John Sage. Got his package, and I freaking forgot it today, so that will be Thursday's opening. Middle Eastern spices.
Why did he send us Middle Eastern spices?
Because we talk about them a lot.
Yeah.
So he sent them to us?
Yep.
Are we supposed to taste test them on the air?
I don't know. I don't know what he sent. I've got a box.
Probably Zatar, Ras Al Hanout, Burberry, 5 Spice,
Sumac has gotten rather popular, so who knows what's in there? You'll find out Thursday.
I guess we'll find out Thursday.
That's great news, RK. Mikado comes home tomorrow and is walking on 2 feet.
Excellent.
With a walker, but he's walking.
Well, yes, but yeah. No, that's fantastic.
Harissa, well, he's asking about Harissa. I've got a love-hate relationship with Harissa.
You love to hate it.
Well, it's... Harissa's not like chili powder. The original lovely, bright, flavorful spice.
Yeah.
They turbocharge the heat. A lot of them, they turbocharge the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the harissa that I have, which is a preserved paste that I bought at the Middle Eastern market down in Dallas, is very spicy.
Yeah.
So I have to be cautious with how much I add to whatever I'm
Well,
making.
most people tend to over add harissa anyway.
No kidding.
Yeah. But it's like I don't have any real guidance in adding it.
Well, the thing is, harissa has a very definite flavor.
Mm-hmm.
They turbocharge a lot of them, especially the harissas by way of England, or here. They turbocharge the heat for Vindaloo and chili lovers, and you lose the flavor. Let's see. Okay, let's see here.
Sorry, Greg. I'll pass that along. Cedar, he says he loves your prologue to your new Chloe book.
Yes, I have to get writing on that.
Yeah.
He loves it, and you haven't written it yet?
I am it's a work in progress.
Oh, gotcha.
So it is up on my my Substack. The prologue and the first chapter will be free. After that, unless you're a paid subscriber, sorry. But it will eventually be published as a book.
Send money to the starving author.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the support of the paid subscribers.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 years of blogging, and until I moved to Substack, the blog did not support itself, and now it supports itself, which is really nice.
The interesting thing I found about Substack is, and I don't know if Substack has an algorithm that's sending things out that it thinks I'd like to read. But when I scroll through the suggested 4, there's a lot of good debate going on in Substack, which is rather lovely.
Yeah, I think I've got about 300 subscribers, and I got 4 paid. So I'm not doing well.
No, I appreciate the. I'm sure somewhere in Substack are a bunch of whinging Hanyaks.
Yeah.
But I love
They
so far.
exist.
Oh,
But
yes.
The filters, the algorithm of Substack is nice because it gives you stuff that you
I'm getting
and interact with.
I'm getting some on suggested reads. I'm getting some interesting debates,
Mhm.
and they're being courteous, which is rather lovely.
And that's one of the things I like about Substack. It reminds me of the old days of the blogosphere, where you'd actually get these well thought out comments and back and forth,
Yeah.
which I really appreciate a whole lot more than X is better now that you can do a longer tweet
Yeah.
thing. But X still has issues with finding things.
Yeah. Well, Rick says the whiners are probably on Mastodon or Blue Sky. Yeah.
Well, the
But
great
that's
thing,
their safe space.
the great thing about Substack is I've been reading, I'm not on social media anymore, so I'm reading these great long, I hate to say philosophical, but philosophical
Yeah.
discussions about stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know what? It reminds me of Kevin Baker, the Uber
small,
Post.
smallest minority.
Yeah. I used to hate reading those damn things
Well, this
because
is
there was so much information in them. That would send me down rabbit holes for a friggin' week.
Well, it's like Alma's blog. Whenever she does a post about something specific in history or
Yeah.
a book review, I spend money.
Yeah.
well, it's and for my ADHD ass, I discovered the footnote function.
I love that.
And now, not only do I have parentheses and M dashes, I also have footnotes.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate how you use them. I love that I can do them. It just makes me happy.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, Kenton. So, and that's a recent thing. I didn't actually discover footnotes until I was noodling around the backside of it. Say, wait a minute, what's this?
Yeah.
Hello, I can do footnotes. My inner Terry Pratchett went.
Well, let me get the bad stuff out of the way to start with.
Oh, there's bad
Okay,
stuff.
and then we
Of
can go
course.
back to happy after that.
Yeah. HP
Hold
shot
on.
itself. Huh?
Oh,
No.
Hewlett Packard.
Hewlett Packard shot itself in both feet
Again.
again. Pushed out a firmware update to their printers
Brick printers.
that bricked a bunch of the printers because now the printers will no longer recognize the authorized HP toner.
What?
It used to be, well, I'm sure it still is, that if you put a knockoff toner in, it wouldn't recognize it and it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So now they're not even recognizing their own. Their IFF is just screwed.
Yeah, they're getting an error code 11, which is printer not compatible.
On their own print cartridges.
Yep.
This is what folks call an own goal.
Yeah.
Hoist by their own petard.
This one, however, is a little bit worse.
Oh, it gets worse?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna guess
Undocumented
different rant.
commands found in Bluetooth chip used by over 1 billion devices.
Let me guess, it's a Chinese supplied chip.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh
From
no.
Chinese manufacturer Expressive.
Oh no, my shocked face.
Yeah.
How shall I show it to you?
Undocumented commands allow spoofing of trusted devices, unauthorized data access, pivoting to other devices on the network, and potentially long-term persistent connections.
Yep.
No.
This is why everybody says don't do the Internet of Things.
And I apologize, folks. Whatever's blooming right now has got my sinuses tore up.
Apparently oaks.
Yeah.
Because it got they got Jana earlier.
Well,
Yeah.
Jonos was pecan
Pecans,
dust.
yeah.
Oaks are not blooming just yet. However, a bunch of other things are.
But the interesting part is that this is one of the major chips in 90% of the phones out there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't
whether
surprise
they're
me.
Android, iPhone, or anything else.
My shocked face. Let
Yeah.
me show you it.
Yeah.
That's another thing China stole from us.
Your shocked face?
Because I hate to tell folks this, U.S. intelligence was the first one to start to sneak hardware codes into chips that we were producing way back in the day, back when we used to make chips.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of decades. Ask your
Motorola.
parents.
Motorola did the first one. Yeah. Yeah, Padre. The military is ahead of the game by telling us not to connect Bluetooth to the military devices.
Don't connect anything to military devices that doesn't come from the military.
And even if it does, don't connect it.
At that point.
Right, because it's like my workplace when I worked. Okay. One of the labs where I worked
Yeah.
anything USB docking into a
Yeah.
machine was absolutely verboten.
Oh,
We
yeah,
actually
yeah.
had little USB locks that injected into the machine and locked in place, and the only person that had the ability to remove those so you could use the USB slot was the lab manager.
Yeah.
The next lab where I worked did not have. There were security openings that I could have driven a semi truck through, and I can't drive a semi truck. I was not pleased, and nobody cared,
Yeah.
basically.
No, they don't.
Well, a thumb drive is what compromised the military SIPRNet and NIPRNet.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
It was a thumb drive.
Ooh, I don't know what this does. Tweak.
Yeah.
One of the major pharmaceutical companies got hit by the oh gosh, I'm gonna get the name wrong. Somebody in the chat will get it right. The Crybaby ransomware.
Yeah, that was Pfizer, I think.
No, it was not Pfizer.
Oh, was it?
I was working at Pfizer at the time. It was not Pfizer.
Yeah.
That was, however, when Pfizer implemented the absolutely no USB drives,
Yeah.
no way, no how. It was not Pfizer. It was one of the other big names, and the amount that they lost, had trouble with, has never been disclosed. But
Ted says, Cedar, if you can't drive a semi, you can drive for Swift.
Oh.
Yeah, security always took a back seat to convenience in the military. That is a true statement.
Oh, yeah. In the
Security
military,
takes the back
in
seat.
corporate.
Yeah, I was going to say everything. The humans are like water.
Yeah.
We want to flow through the path of least resistance. And I gather electricity is like that too, but electricity scares me. So you have to design with that in mind, that the human is going to go through the path of least resistance.
Which is
Dagamore, my question is, how the hell did he get a cell phone in a skiff to start with?
You walked into a skiff with a cell phone?
Yeah. And then plugged it into a name network.
Things have changed since I was in.
Yeah, no shit.
Things have really changed since I was in.
Yeah, some of the stupidity that I saw. Yeah, we all have tails, Greg, trust me. The infamous Zenith 214 laptops with the classified hard drive that you had to pull out and put in the safe. And how many of those things got left sitting on people's desk?
Yeah.
That's why I think that IT professionals in the military should come when you graduate from AIT for IT professional, whatever IT professional MOS is, they issue a hate stick.
Yeah.
And then you get to use the hate stick on people that are stupid, and they will shortly thereafter stop being stupid.
Oh, you got to be shitting me. Westinghouse was giving a presentation on the AP1000 to the Chinese, allowed them to use a thumb drive to copy the presentation. Fuck. No, Padre, you can't. Although you probably could and get away with it. Oh, God. Yeah.
Anyway, so on to more on to happier stuff, shall we?
So we're all screwed.
So we all look at Cedar for happy stuff.
Well, I was just going to say, I have not a rant, but a contemplation on the state of the world right now.
Okay.
Ooh, a rumination.
Well, so Julie and I have been talking about chickens, and she incubated and hatched out some chicks, and they're mixed breed, and we don't know male, female, and I can only have hens at my house. What that led to the conversation was, we can just drop by the feed and seed and pick up some pullets, so we know for sure that we're brooding up some hens for you.
That would
no. Every feed and seed locally, and I was talking to friends today, and this is happening elsewhere. As soon as a shipment of chicks comes in, they sell.
I bet.
Right off the truck, they are selling all of the chicks, all the ducklings, the keats, the guinea hens, any kind of thing that's going to lay an egg. They cannot keep them in stock. And even the big hatchery is like, at this point, even though technically we can still take orders, we don't have the stock. And
considering the everybody's getting into backyard chicken raising.
Well, and I was going to say, and this is exactly what it is that between this round of damn eggs are expensive and the last round of damn eggs are expensive, I think there's a lot of people going, gosh, chickens aren't that hard.
No, they're omnivores. They'll eat your chickens, your table scraps.
Well, they'll eat each other, but that's a whole other thing.
Chickens.
But I'm just saying that I have never seen this before, where literally, I mean, we're talking about hundreds of chickens coming in and gone out the store.
Well, I've in past years, Atwoods, before y'all got here, had baby things. In buckets.
You know, as soon as you walk into the store.
Oh yeah, one the smell, two the sound. And it would hang around for about a month. Baby turkeys, baby geese, baby something with wings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Nope. Not this spring. This spring, the Atwoods gets deliveries on, I think if they said Wednesdays and Fridays.
Of course you asked.
And Julie and Elijah and I were plotting, because Elijah went in Friday morning and everything was gone an hour after delivery.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
even the bunnies. Usually they have bunnies.
Bunnies don't lay eggs. I'm sorry to destroy your illusions about the Easter Bunny.
Cadbury's been lying to me.
Cadbury's been lying to you for years.
You know, the folks across the street from us have that big chicken thing out in their side yard. It's full of bunnies.
I unfortunately am severely allergic to bunnies because I spent too long with them living in the office with me.
Fur or meat?
I don't know about the meat. I know for a fact that rabbit dander, rabbit fur, I cannot.
Yeah, I read it the same way.
So very few people are actually allergic to bunnies, but I would spent 10 years with magic bunnies in the office with me and highly sensitized. And one of my daughters is as well.
Interesting allergies in this book.
Right.
So I don't know about bunny meat. One of these days I'll probably try it just for grins and giggles, but also should probably be aware that I might react adversely.
Yeah. Well, much like Kathy Smith with butterflies.
Yeah, it's a sensitization thing.
Don't eat the bunny berries.
So technically, you can't eat bunny berries.
No, we're not going there. We're not.
There are some Native American tribes that use them as soup thickeners because they process them so quickly that they're not digested.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have got to be desperate.
Yeah.
If that's what you're collecting to put in soup. There are some things out there that I have learned that are edible that just, you think about the profound levels of starvation in order to try eating that.
Okay. Yeah. How did they find out it would thicken soup? Did they have a pile of rabbit turds and go, I wonder does it thicken soup? Does it cure molasses?
When you're dying and that's all you can find is what the snowshoe hair left behind you on the snow, you're going to eat it.
The stuff I ate in SEER school.
Oh, I know. Don't give me the lie. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah.
In World War II, the siege of St. Petersburg, it's one of the Russian cities, they were eating the wallpaper paste.
Stalingrad. Yeah.
Stalingrad, yeah.
Well, wallpaper paste was flour and water.
Water.
Yeah. I have learned. I have a sourdough starter.
I wonder if it cures the plague. Nope. All right, let's try starting fires. Nope. Well, hell, maybe a thicken soup. Hey!
I have learned, because I have the sourdough starter, that the spoons that I use to stir up the batter, I have to hand wash because it sets like glue if I try to run it through the dishwasher.
Shoe leather. Yeah, people eat that.
Well, again, with people will eat it, and there's things that are perfectly edible that you look at it and you're like, how did
kale?
No, rhubarb. Rhubarb. The leaves are toxic. The roots are toxic. Only the leaf stem is edible. Yeah. Everything else will make you suffer if not die.
Bob ate the leaf and keeled over. Frank, try the stalk.
Yeah.
But it's like, how do you figure that out?
Yeah.
It's like, who the hell figured out that the decorative plant stuff at the Pizza Hut salad bar was edible.
Who ate the first oyster? That's the one I want to know.
Starving people.
Well, and that and things in shells outside of red algae tides, which you can tell when that's been going on. But things in shells are a pretty safe bet for this can be eaten.
Yeah.
I can't off the top of my head think of a mollusk that's inedible. I mean, not good, sure, but will kill you. Nah, not really.
Cone snails might argue.
Yeah.
I'll bet you can eat them as long as you try to avoid the pointy end.
Well, a lot of people love escargot, and especially in France.
Yes, I have had escargot.
I had escargot. Then I had what they told me was escargot at jungle survival training, and they were incorrect.
Yeah.
That was disgusting.
Okay, so and now I'll go down the gross things, which is if you're going to eat escargot or anything like that, make sure that it's well cooked.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Because there are some parasites, flukes, that will do very bad things to you. There was a young man in, I want to say Australia, that was eating slugs on a dare, raw.
Yeah.
He was in his teens. He was being an idiot because, boy, not that girls aren't idiots, but generally in different directions. But he
girls are idiots because they go after the guy that's eating the slugs.
He wound up in basically a persistent vegetative state because he got flukes that went to the brain.
Went to the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you Road Warrior says, who ate the second mushroom after the first guy died? Good question.
There's a cartoon out there of Stone Age men, cavemen, with somebody making notes on a rock of that mushroom made Bob see God. That mushroom killed Fred. The very popular oyster mushroom has a close relative. They're called angel wings.
Yeah.
Because they'll give them to you.
No. Angel wings will utterly destroy your liver, but only if you have the right genetics.
Yeah.
Most people can eat them with no ill effect whatsoever, unless your genes are the right kind, in which case
and then angel wings says,
gonna,
fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, you might not die, the liver being what it is, but
who did the progenitor the progenitor of that gene line piss off is what I gotta ask.
And how long ago?
Yeah.
What did he do to the queen of the fairylands?
If you ever heard of a drug called Anabuse, it's what they
it's
give
the
alcoholics.
One for alcoholics that makes you yark if you drink.
It is developed from a mushroom called an inky cap.
Does not surprise me.
You are not supposed to drink alcohol within several weeks after eating inky cap mushrooms.
Because they'll rebound like a catapult.
You will be very sick.
And I've known people that were so desperate that they would take the Anabuse and still go out and drink and throw up.
Yeah. Inky caps are actually really nice when they're very young, fried up.
And then
I don't really drink alcohol. Inky caps never worried me.
Must have been a Roman emperor or a Habsburg.
Habsburg, I would vote.
Yeah, I'd bet on the Habsburg.
Yeah.
Habsburg, you get no chin and stay away from that mushroom.
Yeah.
But these really are the things that you think about when you start thinking about where food comes from and spices. I mean, we've talked before about capsaicin and caffeine, how they're basically pesticides. Yeah. And humans are just like tasty pesticides.
One of the many, many reasons why I am not a vegetarian is because I have learned, it's been beaten into my head through multiple schools that if it's an animal, I can probably eat it.
Yeah.
If it's a plant, I got a 50-50 chance between getting a full stomach and seeing God. One way or the other.
J.B. Woodman said something I did not know. During World War II, starvation winter in Holland, the Dutch were eating tulip bulbs thinking they were onions. I did not know that.
They knew they weren't onions, and they taste a little bit like a potato.
Something else.
And it was known that they were edible. They're not actually very good. There was a big YouTuber who just did a video on this not too long ago, but I knew about it before. Daffodils will kill you, but tulip bulbs are edible. That's why the deer love them so much.
I can eat. My thing is I can eat that plant or I can eat the rabbit that's eating the plant.
Yeah.
And I know which way my
I mean, the rabbit just has intestinal parasites and tularemia.
Yeah, but you can cook that out.
I've got heat. I've got heat. I'm happy, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yes.
Dagamore says, but on the good side, the Habsburg family tree is more of a stalk. Yes.
It's a telephone pole.
Very skinny star.
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. Boop.
Every wedding is an opportunity for a relationship.
Yeah. Well, they check down to what now, fifth cousins or something like that.
I don't know about that. I know my husband has joked about how funerals in Kentucky he's been hit on more than once by family at a funeral.
Yeah.
I mean, probably second or third or fourth cousin, but still.
We're not going there. We are.
I think it was the Habsburgs that was mentioned was that they would not allow anything less than fifth cousins to marry.
Which makes sense at this point. I mean, I think consanguinity
they're pretty much clones.
Is beyond second cousin generally these days, but in that case, because that gene pool was awfully damn shallow.
Yeah.
It was a puddle.
Yeah. John is right. It was a puddle. Yes. Very small puddle.
Yeah.
There's no pool involved there.
One of those in a parking lot with that skim of oil simmering on top of it.
And algae glorping distantly in the distance.
Dueling banjos playing in the background.
Well, let's face it. Several of the wars, up to and including World War II, were just continuations of one of the biggest family feuds I've ever heard about.
Yeah.
Well, Europe at this point has had more peace for the longest time. I mean, I don't know if I go back and calculate, if you think about it, how many wars.
Well,
there was the 30 Years' War and this war and that war and everything. It's like constant.
They'll solve that problem.
And I think the biggest conflict I can think of is like Serbia, Croatia, that Kosovo. In the 90s.
Yeah. But the origin of that goes back 2,000 years.
Well, I know, but that's what Europe. I'm saying is overall, Europe for the last 80 years has been quieter than at any other point in recorded history.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many, especially World War I, how many leaders were cousins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest family feud, most expensive family feud in world history.
Yeah, exactly, Rick. World War I was a family feud. Queen Victoria was a busy girl before Albert died.
She did love Albert.
Yeah.
Often, apparently.
Yeah. Dagamore, I don't know. Maybe because 100 years is easier to remember than 116.
It's shorthand.
Yeah.
They're odd little. This time of year I'm in these gardening groups, and this one thing keeps coming up over and over and over again that annoys me. And it's because nobody bothers to look beyond the common names of plants. So I am sort of kind of an expert on plants and whatnot, and everybody's like, this quince, and they share pictures of the pretty red flowers, makes this, and they share pictures of the fruit, and I'm like, it does not. They aren't even close. You cannot buy one and expect to get the other.
I am somewhat of an expert on plants. Yep, that's a plant.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a delightful moment on Facebook earlier. Miggy Gonzalez shared a picture of a flower and asked if any plant experts could identify it. And it was a daffodil. I'm going to guess that this is the first time he's lived far enough north for there to be daffodils.
Yeah.
Because he was also complaining about the trees in wind versus Florida trees, which bend. And he's not wrong.
Yeah. Well, Florida trees are basically palm trees.
Well, but that's the thing is they're adapted to really high winds versus he's in Tennessee or
Yeah,
somewhere
so
like
oak
that,
trees and pecan trees.
which are not adapted to bend with
No.
really high winds. So when you get a windstorm, there's branches down everywhere. It's
And
not
pecan
full
trees will
trees.
shed branches. And
Oh my gosh, my backyard
Friggin' hate
pecan.
countries.
clear weather with no wind at all.
I know.
Spontaneously, I'm gonna drop a branch
Yeah.
now.
A branch. It's the branchlets and pecans. I've got 2 of them in my backyard. Somebody come get these pecans.
You
The
get-
branchlets jam little bitty branches.
Yeah,
will jam your lawnmower.
uh-huh.
It's annoying.
This is why Elijah and I were out there. I bought this little electric mulcher, and we were out there feeding branchlets into it.
Mm, mm, mm.
Well, it'll only take the little electric mulcher, anything like that big
Yeah.
is too big and it sticks in it. It says it'll take up to 1.75 inches, but it lies.
Oh, that's like the old shredders in the military. This will shred 1,000 pages an hour. Bullshit. Single page.
I have set a shredder on fire.
You let the magic smoke out.
I did. I've set a shredder on fire.
We were so desperate once because we had one on the airplane. We couldn't shred fast enough. So we took a coffee can and we're burning stuff in the coffee can in the back of the airplane. And the flight station's going, "We're smelling smoke up here." Shut up, we're busy.
I told them, I said, let me draw a thermite grenade from the armory, and we won't have to worry about shredding this stuff. No. Think outside we'll get Sergeant McMurtry. He can think outside the box. I think outside the box, I get shut down.
Yeah.
How was I doing in embassy?
The burning things reminded me. I had a friend who had been, well, he'd been CID and then he was CSI. But he was CSI in Georgia, and he was talking about the fact that they would take all of the confiscated marijuana and burn it.
Oh, yes.
And the effects of the smoke plume.
Oh, yes. There are a number of stories about that.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, why are they? There's got to be better ways to destroy that.
Mm-hmm.
No napalm. Napalm in a closed center block room runs out of air pretty quick. Thermite produces its own air.
And then you get backdraft.
Yeah.
If
That
you
was-
run out of air.
Yeah, and that was not going to be. That would not have been my issue. That would have been somebody else's issue.
Just upwind of an Air Force base. Oh, lovely. Yeah. Yeah, the shredder exploits are innumerable, including, as Dagmore points out, the oil that they use to lubricate the shredders also happens to be highly flammable.
It's
Oh, no.
because it's friggin' canola oil.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know. Friggin' canola oil.
So what did you try to cook in it?
Well, I didn't.
Somebody
Did you use
did.
canola oil from home to lube up the shredder?
Well, yes, I have. I have done that in the past. No, a shredder, a DOD shredder once exploded in my face. And when I was cleaning the shredder oil off, I noticed it tasted a lot like canola. It was, as a point of fact, canola oil.
No comment.
Peanut oil has a higher smoke point.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Shake has beef tallow, and there's one 30 minutes south of us.
Oh, beef tallow.
Yeah.
Have you noticed the number of people that are switching to beef tallow and suet, or no, not suet, lard,
Yeah.
Yeah,
lard and butter for cooking?
I use butter.
The publicity has shifted.
Yep. Lard biscuits and lard anything tastes a hell of a lot better than
Mhm.
oil.
Jesse Bear, I sold shredders while Ian is 100% right. Did you ever sell any to DOD? If you did, we got to talk.
You can get in line. I got it.
I'm just why am I TDY here? Did DOD send me here just to shred all your crap? Apparently.
Oh,
Brian, you should have that in your email.
You cannot set the file room on fire. The hell I can't. We might need this location later. I don't care. Set on fire, shut the door. When the idiots kicked down the door, they shouldn't have done that.
is Ag Tiger in the chat?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Hey, if Ag Tiger shows up, let me know because I got an email and I would just tell him that I confirmed that I received.
Yeah.
So.
He is, his working hours changed
Ah.
and he's putting in some long days. So,
Oof.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, that's my next adventure is I've got 2.5 weeks left on this job.
Oh, yes, by the way, find Cedar a job.
Yeah.
What she can do from home.
Yeah.
I have faith in y'all. Find her a job.
Yeah, Rick, he
That
put it in the
she can do from
TDU
home.
and dumped it out in the bottom of the ocean. And you were quite a distance from shore normally when you did that. So even if it floated up, unless the current got it, didn't end up at Midway, along with the Japanese floats.
What was being dumped out in the ocean?
Classified information.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I didn't
If you
have
dump
that,
paper into the ocean, there's not going to be much
have
left of
that
it.
option in Molly.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're probably familiar with the rubber ducks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I always thought that was the cutest thing. And it's a lovely way to have studied ocean currents.
All they had
Do
to
you
do.
know about the rubber ducks?
I do, but that's the first time I've heard ocean currents and lovely in the same sentence.
All they had to do was go to Midway Island and count all the crap that comes up on the beach over there. We used to go over there and collect the Japanese fishing balls.
Yeah, those used to come up on the coast in Oregon. My great grandparents had quite a collection.
My grandma found 3 on one day.
Yeah. There was quite a collection of Japanese floats on the Oregon coast. That
Midway,
my
you'd get
family
30 or
had.
40 a day.
yeah.
And everything from the
Well, the ducks though, they found those ducks all the heck over the place, including some over into the Atlantic.
It's the ocean.
So
It's the ocean.
well, it was all wind driven
yeah,
because the duck had enough freeboard.
right.
Most of the stuff has no freeboard, so
Right.
it's pure current.
Right. Yeah, so what they were seeing with the ducks was different than
Yeah.
just dropping other things in and waiting for it to come to shore again.
That was how they ended up
So-
with 10,000 pairs of Reeboks at Midway.
Yes. I've read about that one
Oregon,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was actually a Facebook group for trading Reeboks, so you could get if you had 2 left, you could trade for a right one.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it survived the ocean, being in the ocean that long.
They actually did okay.
Yeah.
Just dry them out. And
Yeah, well, I would imagine that after a few months, probably not so much,
Yeah.
but at least initially, ocean salvage, being able to gather stuff on the shore gets interesting.
Hell yeah. Well, there were people at Midway that made good money,
I am sure.
and there were some Hawaiians that would come out and scrape
Hmm.
the stuff that nobody else wanted, like the Reeboks.
Yeah.
And obviously, they were taking them and selling them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brennan, what the hell?
What?
He may be looking for a job.
Uh-oh.
no.
I know he was down with the flu. He and the baby and Emma, all 3 of them. So
You up to relocating? If you're not, I can't help you.
they just got to got to Alaska. So
If he's not up for relocating, there's not much I can help him with.
Yeah.
he should be an electrician up there. Should be in fairly high demand. So
Mhm.
Apparently, he was a Proby DOD employee.
Oh,
uh,
probationary. They're doing malicious compliance with that crap.
see,
So.
there a lot of the probationaries are being
Oh,
let go.
Yeah.
So
As
yeah.
opposed to-
Yeah.
Well. Yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be painful for a while as the government gets pared down to
Yeah.
a reasonable size.
like I
So,
like I said on Substack, which got a shit ton of views, by the way. If a whole bunch of people screaming about what was being done had started doing stuff to fix government back when they first got embedded in the government like a tick
20 years ago.
30 years
Yep.
ago, 40 years ago, they could have fixed the government or done better for the government with a lot less pain. But because they insist on going la 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 and kicking a can down the road, now we gotta take a meat axe to it. Jackasses.
Well, they made their millions.
You no kidding,
So,
right?
They're money laundering.
yeah, and they're basically all retirement age. So I'm betting we're going to see a bunch of them disappear in the next cycle.
If only they disappear the way they used to disappear.
Yes. But
We don't know what happened to Senator Schumer.
Yeah.
A van belonging to a rug company was parked outside of his apartment for a couple of days. But other than that, we don't know anything.
yeah. Well, they need to clean out New York from top to bottom anyway.
We go to these major cities. You make that statement, any major city.
I don't know why I'm bothering to hydrate. It's my sinuses are hydrating for my entire body.
You need to get hydrate in order for your sinuses to run. Because if your sinuses don't run, you'll get an infection.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that
No, you do not.
because Systemax is now killing everything.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yogurt.
I would love for Senator Schumer to get him a van marked free candy.
Yeah.
I want him to eat one of his burgers that he fries.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh, did everybody know about that?
Yeah.
Holy crap. It was what, Father's Day?
It was
No,
so
4th of July.
mad. And it was like, seriously, he was trying to show how it was 4th of July.
Yeah. And
We're out grilling
We're-
with the family.
we're out grilling like, humans do. And he had a raw hamburger patty, and on his raw hamburger patty, he slapped a thing of cheese on there.
Yeah. I don't think the grill was even on.
I don't go there.
He
He
was
might
not
have
on.
burned
Probably
himself.
not.
Assholes.
Hell, Brian, Brennan, you've got enough stuff in that van, it wouldn't even be noticed.
If your van has free candy on the side, Brennan, we have to talk.
Well, that's about the only thing he hasn't tried.
Oh my God, Cedar's got the giggles. That's bad.
I'm imagining Brennan's fan with free candy on the side, and then my brain went, "That would be fun to paint."
It's not a big Dodge van, it's a little window
I
van.
know what it is.
Yeah.
But
been
also, if that
hauling that.
rolled up with free candy on the side, I'm not coming anywhere near it. No offense, Brennan.
I posted it.
One that says free ammo, hell, we'd all be on that one.
I posted a Facebook thing a long time ago that was, I got to see the candy this time. I'm not stupid.
There was.
Oh, Jim Sharp, free 10mm sockets. Yes.
Yeah, that would go.
No, because you open up the drawer and they vanish.
I opened up Facebook Marketplace. I'm keeping an eye out for a rose trellis. And there was a white van, the
Yeah.
free candy kind of van, and really low price. I didn't open the ad to look at the specs, but I looked at it and I was like, what would be fun would be to get one of those and paint it or wrap it as like the Raconteur Press bookmobile, and then use it to go to cons and stuff. So instead of free candy, it would be the bookmobile, which honestly, I mean, a lot of us would get drawn into that just as well.
I'd have to write bookmobile with a shoe polish thing like the free candy.
Yeah.
Free hand bookmobile. And con security would be.
Well, remember
Would
what they
have
did to Brian
questions.
over his truck. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't con, that was the hotel.
That was
Yeah.
hotel.
But still, that was a shitty deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pulp machine.
Oh, it's painted like the Scooby Doo thing, but the pulp machine. Oh, we could do, yeah. No. Rack
The
Press does not
ideas
need a
are now
van
churning.
yet.
The creatives are having ideas, which makes me really nervous.
John is just grinning.
Oh, I have the energy for right now.
I actually have a in my. I have one of those little things of drawers, little bitty drawers for holding screws and stuff. I have one marked 10 millimeters, and it's the spare 10 millimeter sockets, and it's got a little latch and one of the little padlocks.
Dagamore says he welds them to extensions and paints them high as yellow. I'd still lose the damn things. I had 4. I'm down to 1.
Speaking of 10 millimeter sockets, and this is my example of my brain squirrels, 10 millimeter sockets. How many people would buy a coffee mug with a Rack Press logo on it?
Where the hell did that come from?
Don't ask. It's a long and torture road my brain takes.
We can set that up. That's not difficult to set up.
Our print on demand store.
Exactly, the print on demand stuff.
Apparently, there is a market for Raconteur Press coffee mugs.
We will probably do Raconteur. We will probably do Raconteur Press, and this will all be like print on demand stuff that can be drop shipped straight to them.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about packing and shipping.
And
people will know that when they order something, they'll actually get it.
Yeah,
but we'll probably do mugs, T-shirts, and just stickers.
Yeah, because we need to put the drag chicken comment on a sticker.
I think I've actually done the design for that already.
Yeah, I think we did. So
I need
have
to.
A whole pile of little quotations.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
And I'm going to test the mugs before we start putting our logo on them because
people want the Ray-Gun ads on shirts too.
Yeah, because a coffee mug coming from Raconteur Press better hold enough coffee. That's all I'm saying.
If we use the print-on-demand people that I use for fulfillment, they will have choices of a regular size coffee mug or a big coffee mug.
No. It's not regular size coffee cup. It's a teased coffee cup because that tiny amount of coffee is a tea.
Yeah.
It's not a real cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Well, the one that I've used for my stuff in the past has like an 11 ounce and a 16 ounce.
Yeah, 16. This is where you start.
16 is where you start.
Yeah. And it should go up from there.
So noted.
To buy smaller than 16 ounces of coffee.
16 is where it starts.
32 is more appropriate.
My small coffee cup at the house is a 14-ounce coffee cup.
So I came home from the antique store the other day with a mug for my husband. And it's this big. It is pho noodle bowl size mug with a handle.
Yeah.
He uses it for cereal, but because his problem with it with coffee, putting coffee in there, is that the coffee has reached a suboptimal level of cooling by the time he gets deep enough into the mug. So he would rather have the coffee sit and stay warm, and he just keeps topping up his mug.
Yeah, the Orion beer mugs out of Japan, out of Korea, 5 liter.
No, good heavens! That's a lot.
How does coffee stay around long enough to get this thing you call cool?
I don't get that.
I don't either.
Okay.
I do not chug my coffee.
I don't chug it. I just drink it. Because coffee make brain work.
Well, I will also drink my coffee cold, which my husband will absolutely not do. So
I won't either.
No, I won't ask you to. But during the summer, it gets too damn hot for me to want hot coffee, so I drink iced coffee. The problem with iced coffee is I wind up drinking more of it because it goes down easier and faster.
Iced coffee is an abomination unto Nuggin.
Yeah.
It's still coffee.
Iced coffee is an abomination. Nuggin hates it. Hates it.
Well, I'm not giving any of mine to Nuggin then. Nuggin can make his own.
Padre says 32 ounces is good. I only drink 2 cups a day.
Yep. Right now, Sanford and I are about splitting the pot. So about half a pot each.
I drink a pot to 2 pots a day.
Yeah. I start to shake if I do anything more than that.
Yeah.
I will say the coffee, some of the King Harvest coffee combined with steroids definitely makes writing almost impossible.
Yeah.
It's like,
And there's always coffee ice cream.
Well,
there's a chap in my Discord that orders from King Harv and then puts little reviews of each King Harvest blend. And he just opened and started drinking his Raconteur Press blend. And he was very impressed with it.
Was he?
Really yummy. We should sell that wholesale. We should get some and sell them in our booth.
So the word decaf has the same decaf.
You mean sad brown water?
Brown
Yeah.
sadness water.
Brown sadness water.
Yeah.
Yes.
Decaf.
Why?
Yeah, what's the friggin' purpose of decaf coffee? I don't drink it for the flavor.
Yeah.
If you have a cardiac issue, I mean, dad's doctor.
Then your line
was
is
like,
weak and you should be ashamed.
30 years in EMS, and when they say you have a big heart, they don't mean that it's just because you are kind and willing to help others in trouble. It means that you literally have an
Cardiomyopathy.
enlarged heart.
Cardiomyopathy.
Yeah.
And caffeine does bad things.
Jesse says the King Harv's Salesi coffee is more subtle but strong.
Yes, it is lovely.
Yeah.
I like King Harv's. I really do.
Yeah.
They've got their African blends are just delicious.
The only one of theirs that I picked up and I won't order again was the Nuclear, which is their hyper caffeinated one. And it did not have the depth of flavor that their other coffees that I've had from them did. Nuclear was just very, very bitter. And so I was like, I won't do that one again. I used to order.
Well, it was just pure caffeine.
Well, that's the thing though. Is I used to order Death Wish coffee.
Kenya was amazing.
Yeah,
That's a really good blend.
Kenya's
Kenya's
really
great.
lovely.
The Tanzania peaberry is
Oh my God, that's good.
Uh-huh.
We're drinking Brazil right now. I think it's Brazilian peaberry.
Yeah, Richard,
You
the
can get oranges down there too.
But it's-
Advocat coffee syrup got used on ice cream by quite a few people.
Of the female persuasion, I might add.
Yeah.
I got to sniff it. Ooh, that smells good. Can I? What the hell?
Sanford sets up the coffee at night and he grinds the beans and puts it into, we have a conical filter and a drip machine. So he will do that and leave it open. So when I stagger out first thing in the morning to feed the cat, I close the lid and press a button on the drip so I don't have to think about anything else that hour of the morning. But he will do that, and I'm not yet gone to bed, and it smells so good because it's like 3 feet away from my desk.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I want coffee, but not at this hour of the night.
Yeah.
One of the things that drives me nuts is I can drink a pot of coffee 10 minutes before bedtime and go right to sleep. Drives her nuts.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I have that Electra mocha maker now, or the mocha pot, so I can make
Yay, finally.
espresso or Cuban coffee.
After a year.
Well, I had broken the handle on my little stovetop one.
Yeah.
So I finally broke down and ordered one that you plug in. It's like an electric
I know, but we
kettle.
got to pick at you.
I know. I'm not good about repeating things. I like to do it once and then I bounce off to find something new to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian asked a question earlier about
What is?
you want to know if they have Ethiopian coffee. Do they not only
We've got a whole bunch right under
yeah,
your
not only
table.
do they have Ethiopian coffee, they have the Ethiopian coffee.
Yeah, they have a huge variety of coffee. It's lovely.
There's several blends of Ethiopian too.
Yeah.
And the fun thing about
the
King
Yurga
Harv's-
Chef is that was the original coffee.
Yeah. The fun thing about King Harv's is if you order 3 pounds, they'll
crazy.
throw in a half pound free.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
Well, that's the fun thing about King Harv's too, is they are crazy, but
They are good folks. So.
they
King Harv's,
are.
they're excellent
They are.
folks.
Yeah.
And I'm always,
David is we have got to go visit one of these days.
yes. I wonder where I've got to look and see where he's at. I'm gonna
Tampa.
Florida.
Well, no, I'm gonna be in Florida for a couple of days next month, but I won't really have time to go running around too
North
much.
of Orlando, so
Far north of where I'm gonna be then.
Yeah.
So I had booked a flight and I did not buy the refundable or changeable tickets, which was a dumb idea.
Ooh.
And then when things got canceled, I'm like, well, I'm stuck with it, so I'm going to Florida anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well, it depends on where you're going.
I'm flying into Fort Lauderdale.
Ugh. Never mind.
That was we were supposed to meet up with my dad and my stepmother.
Yeah.
That part of it's been called off, but it looks like my sister and I are going to get together for a couple of days, hang out at a beach resort.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go if it's scallop season, go dive for scallops.
Not off of Lauderdale.
I don't know.
Crystal River.
Yeah.
I have to be careful about sun exposure. That's my thing.
Yeah.
About I'm a little concerned about Florida, so I'm going to have to find a shady spot.
Of course, the problem with Crystal River is you get run over by everything and their brother.
Florida. I might need to have field experiments on what different rounds do to monkeys. Florida's
I
near.
really hope there's no monkeys at the resort we're going to.
Yeah, we'll definitely wear a hat.
Just
a hat and all the sunscreen.
Yeah.
I don't know if I still got the 10W30 that Ocean Potion said was their 100 SPF.
I can't fly with sunscreen.
Yeah.
TSA.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if you can get teeny tiny little things of sunscreen. My plan is that once we get there, we've got the rental car squared away. The first place we're going is like a CVS or a Walmart and get sunscreen, because she's going to be the same way I am.
Yeah.
She's not quite as fair skinned as I am, but we're both pretty fair.
Ocean Potion's my favorite.
So,
Banana boat.
the sun here is abusive, but there, it's like a terrorist organization.
Yes. No,
it's so oppressive.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, walk out into it. It's like you don't see people walking in Florida.
Mm-mm.
You know, just unless they look like a tomato.
Mhm.
So
The Rita, I like Ocean Potion for sunscreen. I don't even know if they still make it. Rita got me. They came out brief run of 100 SPF, so Rita ordered me a couple bottles of it because I used to have to work the friggin' hotter than hell 100 stupidity in Wichita County. And I stand on a hot asphalt road at the intersection of 368 and 240 for hours. So she bought me the 100 SPF. And when I got it, it glorps.
Yep.
Glorp.
Yeah.
And it goes on like axle grease. But by God, the only issue is thank God no skin cancer, but I can't stand having oily stuff on my skin.
Yeah.
So I would spend 8 hours climbing out of my skin.
And watching the idiots run into the side of your patrol car.
No kidding. Thwack.
Hey, it was entertainment.
No, it was a hell of a lot of entertainment.
At least there was something good out of that.
I don't think people understand how much greasy stuff on my skin weirds me out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
a sensory issue. It's just
it is a sensory issue,
Yeah.
and I have similar ones. I mean, I'm okay if I'm working on something, but I need to wash my hands as soon as I'm not like actively kneading bread or whatever it is that's sticky on me. Yeah.
One of the reasons in the winter I scratch a lot is my skin dries out, and every once in a while Rio will chase me down and spread lotion.
Yeah.
I will give her some recommendations. There's a couple of really nice lotions that are gelled with a polymer, and they break to feeling like water on your skin. And then they dry right off, and they leave you hydrated, but they don't feel like there's anything on you. But I did pick up some interesting and useful stuff when I was doing cosmetics.
Yeah.
And that was one of them of, oh, I like this because it's not greasy and sticky.
Yeah.
Somebody said something about camo sticks. Woo, those were rough. But if I get in a mission-oriented frame of mind, it's like I don't like having salt water dry on my skin, but if I'm in a mission-oriented frame of mind, I can tolerate it.
You'd have never made it in the Navy.
Thus the Army. One of the things about the Horatio Hornblower books that just sends me screaming for the rafters is his description of Horatio Hornblower having a bath
In salt water.
in salt water by having a pump on his side and having the sailors pump salt water over him.
That was basically the only way to get clean.
For values of clean.
Saudiat, my father was building for ADCAP, was building a grinding plant in Saudiat, which is in the Arabian Gulf, Persian Gulf. and we go swimming. And I get out of the Gulf, go running up to where I knew an emergency shower was, and I'd stand under an emergency shower until I was sure I wasn't sticky anymore.
Damn. Dolphins are the monkeys of the ocean, though. No, not really.
I would like to get a random selection of rounds, maybe some obsolete rounds, and just see how they work on monkeys for science.
And on that note, folks, we're going to quit while we're ahead. We've wasted another hour of your time today. Yes, dolphins are large. They are not cute little cuddly things. And there's one particular one that the U.S. Navy cannot get rid of.
Yeah, because they. Never mind.
Because that
sexual predator was.
It got trained to do something a little different. Gotta love seals. Remember, folks, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. And we'll see you Thursday. And I'll hopefully remember to bring the friggin'
Apparently,
package.
we're going to be doing something with spices on Thursday.
Yeah.
It's going to get spicy on Thursday.
We'll do something with spices.
Y'all take care, folks. Thanks.